Hey guys, welcome back to Jay's and JJ's Kitchen. Thanks for stopping by, checking out my channel. So today we're gonna do homemade pizza. I mean, when I say homemade, I mean everything, like the sauce, the crust, and everything. That being said, without further ado, we're gonna show you our ingredients, and we're gonna get started. Okay, guys. So you see a lot of stuff kind of laid out here. Don't get intimidated by that. This is just the things that I put in mind. There again, you can tailor this to your preferences and what you like. So I try to separate it here to try to keep it kind of, I won't say simple, but kind of separated. I'll put it like that. Okay, so for our pizza dough, right, for our crust, we have, I use pizza flour, and I use, okay, you've got olive oil, uh, warm water, basically you want it like 110 degrees, salt, yeast, right, and sugar. Now, try to kind of, I guess, kind of expand on that. The amount that you use, it just depends on the size of pizza that you're trying to make, right? Um, what I normally do, I make like 16-inch pizzas myself. There again, that's it's a difference in that. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It's the difference in that because if you're doing a pan pizza, you're probably going to end up with like 16 to 20 ounces, somewhere in between there, of your dough weight, right, for a pan pizza. Now, if you're doing thin crust, it's going to be a few ounces less because you want a thin crust and you want that crispy thing. Like my wife, like it. She like thin and crispy. I don't. That's not my thing. I like the pan, right? And so that's why the best way I can say that is I would say Google it. Depends on the size that you want, right? I would Google, put in, say, for instance, 12-inch thin crust, pizza dough weight, and you can easily find that, and that's what you go off of. But this is the basic ingredients for a basic pizza dough. Me, if you guys kind of follow my channel, you know I kind of like flavor throughout, right? So this is how I start out, and I cheat. I use my bread maker. There again, that's another thing. You got your. You can either use a bread maker, you can do it by hand, or you can do it in a mixer. If you got a dough hook, right? But when my, like I say, using my bread maker, it does all the work for me, and then so it'll give me a beep, and say, okay, if you want to add any additional seasonings, which I say I like flavor throughout. So what I do actually, I add like some of the real fine crushed Parmesan maybe. I'll add garlic powder, uh, and maybe some Italian seasoning or oregano just to give that crust some flavor, right? So that's it for your crust. See, I've got my sugar kind of sitting here halfway between here. Reason being is because when you make your sauce, I make my sauce also, right? So you want a 15-ounce can of pizza, sorry, not pizza, tomato sauce, 6-ounce can of tomato paste. You're going to use Italian seasoning, about 2 tablespoons, 1 to 2 tablespoons of that, 1 to 2 tablespoons of oregano. Then you've got, I use onion powder and garlic powder, salt and pepper, and sugar. Uh, there, if yeah, depends on the part of the U.S. that you're in, right? Because pizzas in the north are different from pizzas that you get in the south. Um, that being said, your pizza sauce, um, you want to play with it. Now, when I say that, it's like okay, when you start, you make your sauce, you get all your some seasonings in there, right? Taste it. I don't like the. Some people like a bland. I won't say a bland, but a more, I guess, the tomato flavor. Uh, the best way I can kind of explain it is more of a bitter type flavor. That's not me. I kind of like either neutral to a somewhat sweet flavor. So that will depend on how much sugar you add to it. But once you mix it, then you add add any other spices, any other of your spices plus your sugar to get the taste that you're looking for. And it's a simple thing. You just mix it all up and you're done. There's no cooking or nothing involved with your pizza sauce. Here you see I have quite a few items laid out. There again, uh, if you're doing just a basic cheese pizza, only thing you got to add in is your cheese, right? If you're doing pepperoni, you've got your cheese and your pepperoni, right? Me, I like I guess the meat lovers or a supreme. You can kind of put it in that category because you see I have cheese, I have pepperoni, I've got ground beef, ground sausage, Italian sausage, I've got ham, and I've got Genoa salami, mushrooms, onions, and that's okay. I'm sorry, my green olives and black olives. That's just me. But there again, you top it how you want it. Everybody don't like the supremes or the meat lovers, and so this section here will just depend on what your preference is, right? So my preference is this. That's why you see all of these items here. You also see I've got some string mozzarella cheese, right? I slice those, and if you guys are familiar with stuffed crust pizza, when I roll my crust out, I'll try to capture this. I'll make it oversized. That way, I slice my cheese sticks in half, right? And I layer the outside layer of the crust with pepperoni, and then I'll top that with the cheese, with the cheese, the mozzarella cheese sticks, and then I roll that. That's how I get my stuffed crust. So that being said, we're going to get started. I'm going to start out making my dough. That's what takes the longest. But like I said, I just put it in my bread machine and let that roll. And then I'll make my sauce, my meats. I'll take my sausage, Italian sausage, and my ground beef. I'll season that and brown it and basically cut up my ham. And once my dough is ready, I let it sit overnight. That's just something I do. You don't have to, but it's just something that I do, right? I let it sit overnight and then I'll come back the next day and it's just a matter of putting everything together. You've got your dough, you roll it out, or not necessarily, I won't say roll it out. You can, but that's not the proper way. You stretch it, you get your size that you want, put a light layer of sauce on it, throw your cheese down. I like double cheese, extra cheese. Throw your layer of cheese down, and then you start layering it with your toppings. And like I said, I want extra cheese or double cheese, so I cover that with a layer of cheese. Put it in my pizza oven, and we're good to go. That being said, we're gonna get kicking. So okay, guys, like I said, I cheat. Hey, I'm old. I like it. I like whatever I can do to make my life easier. This is what I do. My wife, she likes to make homemade bread. She likes sweet bread and that crazy stuff like that, different kind of stuff like that. So, therefore, we have a bread machine. I've never tried making bread with it. Actually, I've made a pizza dough with it. That's pretty much all I've used it for. So, in that being said, anyway, so we're going to get started. So here we're going to start out with a cup and a half. Like I said, this is for basically a 16-inch, basically a large pizza, 16-inch pan pizza, right? And like I said, there again, if you want to make a 12-inch, 10-inch, or personal size, uh, check the Google and it'll give you the size that you need. Basically, you can make it to a smaller size and basically cut it down from there, freeze it, and you have dough. You can make a couple of pizzas, you know, however you want to do that. But anyway, for my bread machine, this is just this is the order that I go in, right? So we've got a cup and a half of water. Put that in our bread maker here. We need about a quarter of a cup of olive oil. Good quarter cup there. So we need a teaspoon of salt to start out with. There again, like I said, start out with it. I'm gonna kind of go a little heavy on this because like I say, I like flavor. I don't like bland or plain foods. So that's why you'll see me go a little over. And like I said, once you get to the section where it says add, you can add, you know, any other extra ingredients that you want for flavor. That's when I'll put in my Italian seasoning, my garlic powder, and some Parmesan cheese, just to give my crust a flavor. So we got our salt. Next thing, we've got our sugar. So we've got 2 teaspoons of sugar. And the sugar, I kind of follow that because I don't want really a sweet crust. I say my sweetness kind of come in with my actual pizza sauce, right? From there, we're going to go with the flour. There again, I use pizza flour, 00 pizza flour. And for my recipe here, like I say, I'm making a 16-ounce pan. So what I need is 4 cups of flour. Try to get that flat. That's 1. Let me get me a butter knife. To do this kind of like the right way, right? Level that off. Two. Three, and 1 more to go. Try not to make a mess. Don't want much cleanup. 4. Shouldn't be that. So I need 2 packs of, I get the Rapid Rise instant yeast for this bread machine, the bread maker. That's it, folks. So that's all I got to do with that. Get it in my bread machine here. get that started, and then we're going to come back and get our pizza sauce made. We'll be right back with that. So alrighty then, for our pizza sauce, right? We've got a 6-ounce can here of tomato paste. Yes, I opened it upside down because my can opener, my electric can opener over there, it doesn't like the top of the can. However, it will open the bottom side of the can. So that's what I do. No big deal. As long as I get it open, I'm good. Right? Okay, so we got our tomato paste in there. Got our 15-ounce can. It's simple. Just a can of your tomato sauce. Stick one small can of tomato paste. Medium-sized can of tomato sauce. I should say this also. Making your homemade pizza like that, the reason I prefer to do that, I'm kind of picky about my pizza because I was born in Ohio and I grew up in Mississippi. However, and I travel a lot, and it's like, say the pizzas up north is different from the pizzas down south. And the pizzas down south, it just don't really quite give me what I'm looking for. And it's like I'm always searching for that flavor that I was used to in the north, right? And so that's why I got into kind of making my own pizzas. Just like anything else that I tell you how we cook, you can control by doing it yourself like that at home. You can control the quality of your ingredients, one, and you can control the taste based on what your preference is and how you like it, right? So that's out of the way. So we got our tomato paste, tomato sauce. I'm gonna go with like, see if we can get like 2. There again, anywhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons of oregano. I go with 2. There again, I like flavor. Two tablespoons of Italian seasoning. With a half a teaspoon of both onion and garlic. This is our garlic here. I can get it over here where I can get to it. Half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of onion powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. If you have garlic salt, by all means go with that. I don't have any. That's what I would rather use, but I don't have any, so we're just going to go with the normal. I've got sea salt here. I'll go half a teaspoon of that. Fresh cracked black pepper. About a quarter of a teaspoon of that. Or, like I say, start out with about that much and then you taste it and you flavor it. If you need to add more to whatever your taste buds prefer, that's what you do. I don't really notice the pepper in my pizza sauce, but yeah. So that's what we go with there. And we got one pizza. Start out. I'm just saying, starting out, because I know me, and I'm going to add more sugar, because this is kind of, if you, like I say, there again, if you like a more tomato, I guess, flavored pizza sauce, the 1 teaspoon is probably good. But like I say, I prefer more of a sweeter taste. So I know I'm going to get this mixed up and I will taste it. And I know me because I did this before a couple of times. And so I know I will definitely need to add more. But there again, that's like I say, that's the nice thing about cooking your own food. You control it and you can make it exactly like you like it. And it's not, you know how you go out and buy something, it's like, yeah, it was okay, but could have had a little more of this or that in there. You don't have to worry about that. You learn how to do it, and then you can control it. And like I say, you can get it exactly like you like it. That being said, I'm going to take this spatula out of here, and I'm going to get my whisk and get this mixed up. And I'll do my taste test, and just like that, you're done with your tomato sauce. This is all simple stuff. Like I say, now you've got your tomato sauce made, got my pizza dough in my bread machine. Once it finishes, so I'm gonna set it in the refrigerator for overnight. But if you want to go with that, you can go with that. You know, flour your surface, get that pizza dough stretched. I won't say rolled out. Get it stretched to the size that you're looking for, and then it's just a matter of assembling it, putting everything together. If you have a pizza oven, you know, like I said, I've invested in that because of, like I said, how I am with pizza. And you just throw it in your pizza oven, about, I don't know, 5 to 6 minutes is done. If you don't have a pizza oven, you can use your home oven. I would say invest in a pizza stone, sit that in your oven, and get your oven as hot as it will get. Well, yeah, as hot as it will go, probably 500, 550 is probably as hot as it's going to get. And you get you turn your oven on while you're doing this right here, basically. So because you want that stone to get hot as possible. If you can get to 500 degrees, that's good. You can, like I say, once you get your pizza made, you put it in there on that stone, close your oven, and you just let it cook until you see the top, you know, the cheese melted and everything, and your crust browns, and it's done. Simple as that. That being said, like I say, I'm just gonna whisk this together, get this in the fridge, and then I'm gonna come back and get my meat seasoned and browned, and I'm done for the night. So, okay, guys, we left off yesterday. We made our pizza sauce and we made our dough. And just wanted to give you a quick shot of our dough here. It's actually, I had it in the fridge overnight, and I just kind of made some balls here. I do it by weight. Um, for there again, just like I was saying, I think I mentioned yesterday when we were doing our dough, as far as the weight is based on the size of pizza that you're trying to make, one, and two, the crust that you're looking for, whether it's thin, thin and crispy, or a pan pizza, right? So I've got a ball here, right here, this one. It's about 20 ounces. This is the one I'm gonna do a 16 inch pan pizza with. And this one here is about, but right at 14 ounces. This is the one that we're gonna do a 16-ounce thin crust. And I got all of my toppings basically set up over here. There again, like I said, that's based on preference. I can show you what I have kind of staged over here. Um, Maybe you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. See if we can get a shot of that. Let's get back out here. You have to move my camera back so you guys can see that. So we've got a little, I think I have everything in there. We've got pepperoni, salami, we've got, you see ham, you see mushrooms, before we browned our ground beef, Italian sausage mix. You see some yellow bell pepper over there, a big array of cheese, because like I said, I do double cheese, and our pizza sauce is back there, and I also have black and green olives, and that's about all I think I'm gonna do with my pizzas today. Both of them will be different because my wife is kind of like the plain thing. She don't like the black olives and the green olives, so I make two separate pizzas. But anyway, that's it for that. So what we're gonna do now is get our pizza or our dough, right? And we're gonna have to get those stretched and molded basically to the size that we want, to our 16-inch crust that we're gonna have, both for the pan pizza and the thin crust. And once we get that done, we'll come back and show you those as I kind of start assembling it and putting everything together. Okay guys, so we got our this is our thin crust, the 14 ounce, well, almost 14 ounces of dough. And we've got that pizza made. So I kind of got it, actually I take it and I do stuffed crust. It's just, I won't say a habit, but that's just me. I just hate, bread like that by itself. So I took it and I put string cheese around the side, the corners, and wrapped, well, actually pepperoni is all the way around there. So you wrap that, and there we go. So basically this guy is ready to go into our, I think it's called ProCam pizza oven that I have out in the garage that I use. It's a gas LP, LP, cylinder gas that I use to fire that thing. So this guy is ready to go in. We're going to go out there and get our pizza oven heated, and once we get it up to temp, we can slide this guy in there in about 5 to 6 minutes. It'll be done. Then we can get our second one in and we're done for the day. We'll be back. Okay, so I just came out, figured I'd show you guys what this pizza oven thing looks like. Actually works pretty good. It's got the little cover for the door to make sure you get to keep your temp in, to get your temp up, and once you put your pizza in. So we're gonna fire this guy up. Get it rotating. Set our temperature. All right, I got it set for almost 800. Once it gets up to, what you do is you get it up real high, right? And they get your stone. I got my little infrared temperature gauge down there that I'll shoot it and make sure my internal temp is up. What you want to do is get your stone hot. That way, and you cut it. You get your stone to the temp that you're looking for. You cut it off, and you put your pizza in. That way, that starts your dough to cooking. It gives it a good sear, basically right off the muscle there, and then you turn it back on. However, when I turn it back on, I'll have my temp down to maybe 550 somewhere in there, and let the I had the top cook, but basically the bottom will also cook. But you want that initial high heat to get that crust to brown like you want it. So we're going to get that done and we'll be back. I just wanted to show you guys what my pizza oven looked like, and this is what I'm working with. See the guy sitting next to it? That's my vertical broiler. We're going to come back one day and we're going to do some gyros. That's the broiler right there, but this is what we're doing today. All right, so we'll be back shortly. Okay, guys, so I'm done. As you can see, one of them got a little bit dark on one side. I think I had my temp up too high, but Hey, there we go. Homemade pizza. Double cheese, double meat, thin crust, and a pan pizza. Hope you guys like it.